Hey guys, so change of scenery once again, and I'm balancing my phone with my hand because I'm trying to accommodate where my cat is sleeping at the time I need to record this. Um, so this is going to be a pretty short and seemingly simple video, but it was deceptively tricky to make. I've had a topic I wanted to talk about for a few months now, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to say about it. And as I thought more about it, I kind of ended up at a completely different topic. So I'm going to try to take you along on my train wreck of thought, and maybe we'll figure out something interesting, or maybe not. But I was thinking about how much of my personality is really me and how much of it is just my AvPD. And that might sound like a silly distinction to try to make because obviously my anxiety is a huge defining part of who I am. I was trying to make that distinction because basically I thought it could serve as a good source of hope for me. I knew that my anxiety wasn't all of me, but I didn't necessarily feel like I knew what the rest of me was. So I wanted to figure out who is it that I might have been if I wasn't super anxious all this time, and in what ways might I still be able to become that theoretical person if I'm able to make some progress. And in finding that answer, have that sort of be both a reason to want to move forward and a starting point and a direction for moving forward. I wasn't able to find an answer I was happy with. Um, it felt like I had no personality. I knew I had an identity, things I liked, but I feel like your personality is how you interact with other people and how you interact with yourself. And I felt like I didn't have that in the sense that all of the ways I did that were defined by my anxiety, not consciously chosen by me, and I didn't like any of them. I wasn't happy with any of them. Um, but as I've made more progress on my anxiety and especially on my depression, um, I've sort of been on a journey of self-discovery, and I wanted to talk a bit about that. I think AVPD can really severely warp your personality, but you're not consciously changing who you are. You just aren't allowing yourself to figure out who you are. And I think the good thing about that, at least for me, is that the avoidance hasn't really permanently changed my personality. My experiences have changed my life in a lot of ways, but I can still find my personality that I am underneath the anxiety. It's just that I wasn't able to for a long time, and now I slowly am making progress on that. So I hope if you're having a lot of trouble with AVPD shit right now, you take heart in the fact that you too will be able to probably find out those sorts of answers someday. And even though you don't have them now, they are there. And at least for me, knowing that stuff makes me feel more complete. And it's funny because I say you don't allow yourself to figure out who you really are. And of course, I thought I was. I was looking at so many big picture things like career possibilities and hobbies and not finding anything I was happy with. And because of dealing with all of my anxiety and depression and everything. And I think in the end, it's going to be a bunch of the little things that, make me feel better and make me feel more complete. And it's funny because obviously a lot of people say all the little things in life are what make it worth living. And I never saw how that could be true. But I think I'm beginning to understand, at least for me, because it's not necessarily like that. It's just all the little things about yourself that you can find out make you feel more complete. And so it's like a bunch of little questions that the individual answers don't matter to you that much at all, but it's just knowing the answers and feeling like you collectively have answers and you know who you are and you just feel more complete. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about what some of those questions I've been answering for myself recently are. Uh, and I know a lot of you guys have also been making a lot of progress with your AVPD journeys at the same time, and I'd be very interested in hearing any similar experiences you guys have had about discovering little things about your personality that just make you feel more like you. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about a few things like that, and that was the main point of the video. Otherwise, and then I'll wrap it up. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was clothes. I've never been a clothes person, quite the opposite. I always wore stuff like cargo shorts and super baggy t-shirts, and yeah, nothing that fit, nothing that looked decent because I didn't think that I had a sense of style. It's just that I didn't think I cared about that sort of thing at all. And now I've started buying some decent clothes for myself, and I actually really like it. Um, T-shirts that fit for one thing, um, and a whole bunch of different colors. I've pretty much worn brown, tan, and black for my entire life. And you may or may not be able to tell. This is not, in fact, a brown shirt. I don't know if you can tell on the phone camera. This is a purple shirt. Um, yeah, and it turns out this is my new favorite shirt. I really like purple, it turns out. Um, and obviously, I never felt like I had the confidence to wear purple before, but kind of working on that. And so, yeah, that's been really awesome. And aside from just normal wear, I've also bought some half decent clothes. Like I wore a button-down shirt to my grandma's funeral, and other than that, pretty much band t-shirts every day. Um, and But now I actually bought some nice, not super fancy, but for me, some nice clothes, and it just made me really happy to, dress up and look decent, even though I haven't actually done anything with that yet. Fingers crossed, I might be able to go on a date later this year and make some use of them, but that's still a long ways out, so we'll see. But that's been really cool for me, and another thing, again, just a random silly thing that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme, but just knowing it about myself is kind of cool. Is I got some air fresheners for my car, and I really like that. My car not stinking anymore, and started out with a really basic generic scent, but I also got a fruity strawberry one I'm excited to try in a couple weeks, and yeah, definitely uh, would not have had the confidence to do that when somebody else might stick their head in my car and go, "Oh, what the hell is that? Guy with a strawberry air freshener? What are you doing?" But uh, yeah, I'm semi-successfully trying not to care what other people think and doing my own thing. Um, and one other little thing like that, working out. Obviously, I've talked about how I still have problems with working out because obviously I don't want people to be around while I'm doing it. Obviously, that's still a total nightmare for me. I hate dealing with that, which is why I'm super excited to be moving out on my own soon. But I also haven't wanted to work out for a long time because I just felt like it was easier to not stand out by having a completely nondescript build. Um, I was chubby in middle school. I didn't like that, but then I gained a few inches, and I was just completely nondescript in high school and stuff. And yeah, I'm actually starting to look slightly athletic now, and yeah, I like it. It's been fun, and those are the main little things I wanted to talk about for now. But I also found it kind of interesting for me personally how a lot of those little things have sort of related to gender expression. I'm a guy, and I'm comfortable being a guy, and I'm happy with that. But um, there's just been a lot of little ways that I was very uncomfortable with expressing myself, either as because I was worried about being perceived as too masculine or too feminine. And I'm fortunately finally, and it wasn't conscious. It wasn't like I'm worried about that specifically. It never came out like that. It's just, I noticed a sort of pattern with these little things that it's like, yeah, I probably didn't do that because I was worried about this person thinking this about that. And yeah, it's just sort of a pattern for me. Um, but fortunately, and now I'm getting to the point where I completely don't care about that. Like, obviously, you know what I mean. It's AvPD. I still care about that a lot, but I'm working past it, and I'm doing what I want to do to just be myself and be who I am, and not care about any specific ways that might be perceived because it's just who I am. And even if specific people don't like or think specific things are weird, that doesn't matter to me because what matters to me is expressing myself in a way I'm comfortable with and finding other people who like that for who I am because that's who I am, and I can't do anything about it, and I don't want to either. Um, you know, I like who I am a little bit more these days, and so yeah, it's been a nice experience to feel that way. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. But if any of you guys that have been making progress along with me have had any sorts of experiences just about silly little things that you might not think are worth sharing, but I'd really love to hear just about little things you've discovered about yourself that have made you feel a bit better. Just not because you care what about that specific thing, but just that you know it about yourself and it's something about you. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a pointless video, but maybe interesting to someone. And I promise for real this time that my next video will actually be interesting because I know exactly what my next video is going to be. Well, not exactly. I plan way too many details up till the last second that I record the final take of the video, but I have a very good idea what it's going to be, and it's actually going to be interesting in a few different ways, I think. So anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys, and again, I'm not one of the like and subscribe and comment on every single video, but if you do have something interesting to me, if you have something to share regarding what I've said in this video, I would be very interested to hear it, is what I'm trying to say. I can't speak English, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm just going to keep this take even though I would normally delete it because of how stupid that sounded. That's fine, though. Have a good night. See you next time.